Hello, welcome to CS47 Section 2, Computer System Studies. Unfortunately, today's live class was cancelled because there was this smoky condition due to fire going on around us. However, I decided to record some videos to share the information that I was planning to share with you in the live classroom. Hopefully this helps you in the way of this course. So first of all, this course will be using Zoom as a live meeting tool, and you are welcome to ask any question at any point of time. Just raise your hand, and when I address you, you basically ask your questions or talk to me about that. Otherwise, please keep your microphone mute. This is what I found in last semester very effective to reduce the noise level. Other than that, don't ask me question over the chat, Zoom chat. This is simply because I don't pay much attention to the chat during the live class. So it is not that I won't be noticing that at some point of time. I'll review them definitely after the class. But during the class, if you just ask it over the chat, most likely I will overlook that. So it is a best that you raise your hand through the Zoom tool, Zoom interface. And once I address you, then you can ask your question. Okay, a couple of difficulties in this course. First of all, this is fully online for the first time, and I'm trying some new techniques like YouTube streaming, trying to use some Jamboard as a whiteboard, trying some new features like a polling and like these breakout rooms. So things will be jittery a little bit. Okay, it may not be smooth as intended, but possibly we all are learning this new environment of learning online tools. So hopefully this will be a good experience for you along the way. And now I have one more thing. If you have noticed, I have Indian accent. Okay, so it may be problematic for you to follow up that accent. Please feel free to request and repeat if you don't get some point, okay, due to my accent issue. All right, so at this point, I want to share with you the Canvas page and like a little bit show how to navigate onto that, at least the introductory part. Let me first share that with you. And this would be this one. Okay, so if you log into your course Canvas homepage, you will probably land up like here as a first page. And most important thing is that there would be like recent announcement. The top one comes here, or most recent announcement will come here. Please look out for that. You can alternately go to the announcement section and look at all the announcements that has been made. And then you basically go to this one. This is the most important page. There are some other information about this meeting, classes, timings, etc. The YouTube channel for this class, and so on and so forth. This one you probably want to start. Okay, so it has some videos about this courses class. You need to go through it, and it talks about some timings, a prerequisite. Our timing is every Monday, like my office hour is Monday at 4:30 p.m. to 5:45 p.m. PST. This one is appointment only. You send me an email 24 hours before, and I will send you a Zoom meeting information. Now, every Wednesday from 4:30 p.m. to 5:45 p.m., it is walking. It's not walking, it is really through the Zoom meeting. It is online. But you don't need to get an appointment with me. So just feel free to join into that meeting, and those meeting information will be finding in the Zoom course Zoom page. Okay, I'll go there. I'll go there and explain. And then about the prerequisite, this class is CS46B or 49J or equivalent C- or better. We strictly follow this prerequisite. If you think you don't have these prerequisite completed, please get yourself enrolled from this class. If you don't like drop yourself from this class, I will be dropping you. Basically, I need to check your prerequisite anyway. So, and also I assume that you have prior knowledge of high-level implementation of high-level programming and also some discrete mathematics, especially the Boolean algebra. Math 42 course supposed to give you that experience. Now, another one, if any student misses any one meeting within the first 3 meetings, that student will be dropped from the class. So this basically still holds, I think. And in this case, since our first class was cancelled, the next 3 classes is very important for you to join. There is some textbook which is not mandatory. You can have it as an reference book if you absolutely need it. And there are some activities. Please go through these activities, complete that. Most important is this prerequisite survey, completion of that one. It has to be done by this Friday, 11:59 at night. That is the deadline. Please make sure you complete that one. Okay, so now going to the Zoom. So you will find all the sessions and link on the Zoom in this page, which is right here. So you can actually, like, you will see a join, you will see a start, right? It's because I am the owner of this meeting, you see a join. However, one important note is that all these Zoom sessions, you cannot just step in. You need to register for this Zoom session, and you can only register through your associated email ID. Okay, sjsu.edu, that email ID. You cannot join in with any other IDs. So please make sure prior to class you register in these Zoom meetings. Otherwise, you'll be delayed. Like for the first class, you will have this surprise that, hey, I have to make these steps, and you register yourself, then the system sends you back another email with all the details about the Zoom meetings and how you can join, etc. So make sure you register yourself for these meetings. Same apply for the office hours, right? You need to register yourself for the office hours as well. I think what I have said is it's a one-time registration. You can register once and you can actually join in any of this recording session. So it is one-time affair. You go and register. Okay, now what I want to do is basically to go through the syllabus. If you click on the syllabus tab, it comes like this. It opens up the syllabus page, and please review that. You need to be reviewing this one. It has all the information about this class, hours, and mode of instruction, etc. Course format. This is one important thing I need to discuss with you. This course uses online flip method. That means we meet during the class time as this one, right? Monday, Wednesday, 6 to 7:15. But I don't lecture in the class, okay? All the lectures and related videos are all pre-uploaded. You are supposed to watch them and read the related material before coming to the class. And in class, we'll actually do discuss about your difficulties in understanding. So it is a little bit different experience than what you may have right till now, or you may have went through some flipped class as well, I don't know. But this is the way we do. In the class, you ask questions and I try to explain your doubts, okay? And we do some hands-on problem, and we do some, maybe some like pop quizzes, which probably will be added to the bonus points, stuff like that. We basically do some hands-on activities in the class, and it is mostly student-led. Okay, if you don't talk, I don't talk. Basically, that's the understanding between you and me. Also, we'll use a tool called Mars. It will be used to study the assembly programming concept. You need to download that from the internet. Just search for Mars Spin Simulator. It will, I think it is from University, Colorado University, maybe if I'm not mistaken, or something else. Just search in the Google. This is a Java package. Just download, and this will be just run just like that. No problem in running that in your system. And what else? Of course, we all know that we need our laptops or some computer system through which we can take online classes. Not only that, for your labs and all these projects, you need your laptop or some computer system with the internet connection to perform well in this class. Next are basically talks about the course description and course topic and course objective. I would recommend you to go through that. What I believe in the Canvas page as well, if you look at the module structure, you know what we are going to study. Okay, so please go through that one. Our learning objective, apart from you getting a grade and pass this course, because this is one of the mandatory course in the undergraduate study, you have to have a passing grade. Okay, that's of course one of your goals. Other than that, what we want to do, we want to understand the computing system in a little bit detail. Like we want to understand that when we write a piece of software program, what does computer do with this? How can it generate some outcome, some result, right? Whether it is a numerical result or its reflection on the graphics or its reflection on the on-screen printing statements and stuff like that, or whether it is an outcome as an robotics arm movement, or it is outcome as a car driving around without any human driver, something like that. So how does it do it? Okay, so at the very, very basic sense, that's what we are trying to explore in this course, and that's what is our target is. And at the end of the semester, I hope you will learn those secrets. Textbook reading, these are all optional books. No need to buy. Most of the cases, all the class notes provided to you would be sufficient. Lecture videos should be sufficient. And if you have any question, you basically ask me, ask your peer student, and you should be doing fine without any textbook. Yeah, you need to bring a wireless laptop for all classes. It's basically for those classes which is like a live in-person class. Basically, if we want to go in-person class and do some hands-on lab, you need to download some of the experimental code and stuff like that. That's why you require to have wireless laptop. But in the online format, of course, we are not meeting face to face. We are all tied through the computer itself, so you won't have a problem. This is like not a big point here. Course requirement and assignments. The main point, there is an syllabus agreement. This is what we call a prerequisite survey. It has to be completed by this time, August 21, 2020, 11:59 p.m. And anyone failed to do so will be dropped from the class. This has been sent like this. Please look at the your email box for this mail with this subject line. Usually, what I've seen for some student, this email ends up in spam because it's something like it's coming from some outside SJSU domain, like it is coming from qualtrics.com. Sometimes it ends up in spam. So please watch out for the spam folder as well. There will be 8 programming assignments, 6 quizzes, 1 individual project, 1 midterm, and 1 final exam. All these points have been explained in detail in the video of the start page that has been that has been created for this class. Please watch those 5 videos, introductory videos. You will get all the details out of them. Okay. All right. What else? Yeah, we need a lockdown browser and webcam-based quiz environment. Please go through this requirement. I believe you have one of the exercise of setting up your quiz environment. It has all the details on that. Let's not waste our time here in this session onto that part. What else? Scoring distribution, these are also part, I have explained that in those videos, 4 videos. Let's move on. Okay, main one is the protocols. This is what I want to again re-emphasize with you. First of all, you must join online video meeting on time. Okay, there will be a waiting room. Join 5 minutes early. Okay. I encourage you to keep your video on if bandwidth or other technical issues are not, or any other type of reservation is a concern. Otherwise, please make your video presence on. This is to make an at least an virtual one-on-one connection with my students. However, we'll see how it works out in real Zoom meeting scenario. What I heard, if there are a lot of video are on, then Zoom itself performs very poorly. So we'll see in the first class when we try the Zoom meeting, we'll see at that point of time that whether keeping the video on all the time is a good idea or not. We'll see it, okay? Now, if the video is not on, at least make your profile picture for the Zoom meeting as a real photograph of you, not any movie hero or cartoon character or something like that. Make your profile, your photo as your profile picture, so at least I know you some sort of face to face. Okay, it is a very strange time to do online classes. I understand that. Please help me to connect with you. Okay. All the class sessions will be recorded and stored for the future references. If you have any concern about this, please send me an email note. Okay. By default, I'm assuming you are consenting to this. Like, these sessions will be recorded and it will be available. Okay. Maybe available to the public. I'm coming to the next one. These class sessions, I'm planning also to stream as an YouTube live session, which will have public access. One reason to do that, what I understand, some Open University students, when they come in and try to join in this class, initially they don't have access to the Canvas. Okay, that means They don't know the Zoom link and everything. And why I don't want to distribute the Zoom link? Because I want university to first admit them as an university student, and then I can actually give them access to the Canvas and the Zoom link and everything else. So that means how can they actually follow up with the class till they get an access to they get registered and get access to the Canvas and Zoom system. To solve that problem, for an pure online class, I decided to make it live for the YouTube live, not only for the initial sessions, but I'm planning to do it for all the classes throughout the session, just to see how it works, first of all. And secondly, if you somewhat cannot access the Zoom meeting for some technical reason, at least you have an alternate way to watch at least a live session, class session there in the YouTube channel. So your classes will be streamed as live session. If you have any problem with that or concern with that, email me. By default, I'm assuming you are consenting to this process as well. For the Open University student, please go to my YouTube channel and watch the live sessions till you get an access to it. Fourth point, very important, attend Zoom session, especially if the videos are on, with the business casual attire. Like, don't come funny in the class. It is absolutely not tolerated. You are going to step into the professional world. Let's be a little bit professional during the class time, okay? Business casual attire. Secondly, students are not allowed to make audio video recording or photography in the class session without permission from me. I don't see why you need to do that, because I'll be anyway recording and I'll be posting for you, so no need. But if you do want to do it privately somewhat, it is not allowed, okay? First, you need to send me an email why you need to do that. You need to explain me why you should actually record the classroom beside my recording, okay? Sixth point, another important, course material developed in this class by me is an intellectual property, okay? And cannot be shared publicly without my approval. You may not share publicly or upload materials I provide you for this course, like exam question, lecture notes, homework solution, without my consent. You need to get my consent before even you can share it publicly in any of the domain. Like there are many things like Course Hero, Check, a lot of new things are coming up, okay? I don't tolerate it. Please make sure you don't upload the materials without my consent. End of the story. All right, next. I think I have touched upon this point before. Please keep your microphone mute during the class unless you are participating in a discussion. Now, if you miss a lecture, you are still responsible for any material that been discussed or assignment has been given, etc. I think these points are all explained there in the other videos. Check the validity of your homework when you submit. If it is invalid submission and grading started, will be evaluated as 0, simply, end of story. Now, any student, if you need an assistive technologies due to disability, should work with the Accessible Education Center, AEC, and me. First contact AEC, okay? First contact AEC, and they will contact me in turns about your need, okay? So we're there to help you, okay? Don't be shy, just go and contact AEC with your need. 11, very important. Note that all federal, state, and CSU system and campus regulations on the conduct, including harassment and discrimination against other student or faculty, apply also to this online environment, just as in face-to-face instruction. So no funny business during the class or funny business through the Zoom chat or anything. Those chats will be saved, those videos will be recorded, and it can go against you if you involve in such conduct. So be professional. About the emails, I think I have explained that in the other videos, but just in a short, your subject line should start with this and followed by your whatever subject you want to make, and it has to be sent to my SJSU ID. Okay, so that's all about this sharing, this green sheet review that I wanted to make with you. Now, let me talk a little bit about these late registration student. I think there are some confusion over there. Let me share my Canvas page once more. Okay, so you go into announcement. I'm just trying to share this with all of you. Okay. So as long as you are a student, already registered student in SJSU system, from today morning, that is August 19th, to the morning, you should be able to enroll in my class. I believe there are still some open seats there. So you should be able to join in without any add code till August 27. Okay, from August 28, you need a permission. Okay. Now, even if you get registered as a late registered student, you need to send me an email, okay, with the subject line exactly like this. And in the body, you should have your name, student ID, and registered email. So what will happen is that to my early registered student, I have sent a prerequisite survey links from the Qualtrics. You haven't got it. So please make sure you send it to me by tonight, okay, by tonight. And so that I can send you some link I'll send it some link by tomorrow, okay, on this prerequisite survey. And you need to finish that up by this Friday midnight, like Friday, I think it is 21st of August, 11:59 p.m. So you need to complete that activity of your prerequisite survey by that time. Now, for the Open University student who does not have any access to any SJSU system like Canvas or My SJSU or anything like that, what you need to do, you still need to send me this email, like to my email address, and I will at least send you the Qualtrics prerequisite, and you fill that up with all your information there in that survey, okay, so that I can review your prerequisite status and all other different data that I might have, I might need to look into. And then what will happen, add code will be distributed only after August 31st. So that means you won't be able to join in the Zoom session, but in that case, you go and follow my YouTube channel where I am planning to go live during the class session. You can still follow the class activities. And this first module's lecture videos are already uploaded in the channel. You can still go through this lecture video so that this is something so that you don't miss a major thing before you actually are granted with an access to the Canvas and the San Jose State system. So please follow up with the YouTube channel that has been given to you. I think some of you have contacted me already, and I have actually advised you to visit my channel and watch out for those videos. Please do that, okay? But also don't forget to send me an email with this subject line and all this detail. You may want to say, hey, what is my student ID? Just put a note there, okay, Open University student or OU student. So I know you're Open University student trying to join into my class. Now at this point, I want to share information about this course itself, CS47, and some details, like some background of why you want to take this course, so on and so forth. So let me share my screen first with you. Okay, so our objective of this course. First of all, to be familiar with these architecture components of the computing system, like CPU, central processing unit, registers, ALU, memory, buses, those comes with a kind of like some jargon to you, but hold on to this semester, you'll know all about these components. Okay? A smaller task basically to able to convert between all the number systems, work with the 2's complement, integer floating point numbers, character encodings. This is one major thing. You should be able to write assembly program that uses all these different calls, different instructions of the assembly programs. And also, this is an interesting thing, to understand the gate level operation of the basic arithmetic logic unit. So this part is a bridging part between this course, CS47, and computer architecture studies, CS147. So we'll start early on the computer architecture study as a gate level, understanding the gate level operations, logic level operation, I would say. It will probably make more sense to you now, saying a logic level operations, that how an arithmetic logic unit computes a mathematical functions value or logical functions value. Like it can do addition, it can do subtraction, it can do multiplication. And we'll see that at the end of this semester, ALU, or in turns a computer, doesn't do any arithmetic. What it does is pure logic. All things are logic, okay? There is nothing called an addition operation that it knows, okay? Addition operations are converted into logical operation steps, and then computer or processor or ALU in turns actually perform that one. So there is no mathematical operation. It may sound very strange to you that a computer doesn't actually know how to perform a mathematical operation. It only knows how it can perform a logical operations, and mathematical operations are translated into bunch of logical operations. We'll study that. Next, why are we learning computer hardware? Okay. Beside from the fact this course is one of the mandatory course in your undergraduate study. Now let's look at the popular number of population figures that is related with the computer. And if we draw them, it's basically it's the inverse pyramid. Like if we make the user of the computer at the top, and then some application developers who are developing applications for those users, and there are system software developers like OS developers, device driver developers, who are developing APIs, etc., to control the hardwares, underlying hardwares for the application developers, those people, and people who actually design and develop the hardware itself. If we take numbers of this population, it becomes an inverted pyramid. Probably half of the world uses computer, okay? Either through one from like cell phones, smartphones are kind of very popular nowadays, almost every part of the world. So number of users, of course, are very, very big. And there are a lot of application developers. Like if you look at the app store for the mobile devices, there are zillions of apps uploaded every day, right? So there, I would say, like anyone can become an app developer basically. I have seen app development by high school student, by middle school student, right? It doesn't need that much depth or that much hardness of concept to explore, to write a good application for the users. Okay. Then comes the system softwares and developers, like who develops with the OS and the compiler and device drivers. Those are very handful people, very handful people. Only who knows the system inside out goes there, okay, goes there and landed working in that area. And there are very less amount of people who actually deals day to day with the hardware development, like chip developers. Like how many chip development company we know, right? The big players are there, couple of like Qualcomm, Intel, those guys, Samsung, right? Only a few people knows about the hardware, okay, hardware, the electronics stuff. As a CS personnel, you probably are going to be here, okay, going to be here, application developers and system software development. I'm not saying you cannot go in the hardware field. Just myself, I'm coming from the computer science background, computer science and technology, but I work in somewhat hardware related area, somewhat hardware related. I don't deal with the like real chip and motherboard every day in my day-to-day work, but my work kind of bridge between hardware and electrical concept and the software and computer science algorithm concept. So that's a different story. But I came here, right? So as a CS student, no one is actually like preventing you to come to this hardware field and work. Okay, so basically you can do that. But most likely you will end up in the application development area or system software and this development area. Now, then if that is the case, why should someone actually care about the hardware? Apart from the fact, again, like this is a mandatory course for you, why should we care? Let's see. Now, let's say as a software programmer, you want to write some program is basically to multiply integers by 4 in an array, and implementation is given as this following, right? Can we improve the performance? So let's look at here, okay, and analyze this piece of code and see what it is doing, right? It is taking an array and accessing that array, multiplying by 4. So it is okay, multiplying with 4 in an array and returning from that. So nothing big, each element multiplied by 4. How can we improve the performance? We can do it by this change, okay? So what is happening, look at here, like it says it's a float, but we wanted to have an integer. You can say, hey, this is equivalent, like this is a float. I can store an integer value inside a float type array and multiply by 4.0. What's a big deal? The big deal is that floating point multiplication is much slower than integer multiplication. Okay, because we understand hardware, we know integer operations are faster than floating point operation. So even if your program functioned correctly in the previous code, the next code will actually perform better because you replace the floating point operation with an integer operation, with the understanding of the fact that integer operations ought to be faster than floating point operation by its hardware construct. Okay, can we improve on that? Yes, we can, by replacing the multiplication with a bit shift operation. First of all, if we understand that all the values in the computer program are represented as a binary number, then another fact is that we are multiplying some binary pattern with a power of 2. It's all equivalent of left shifting those bit pattern by that power. So 4 is 2 to the power 2. In a binary world, same operation, equivalent operation is you take the bit pattern, left shift by 2. Okay, so now why it adds up to the performance? Because by the hardware construct, multiplication circuit is lower than the bit shift circuit. Okay, so that's why you can actually bump up your performance by some amount, some fold. I don't know how much. We need to carry that experiment, but we'll definitely improve the performance by replacing the integer multiplication with a bit shift operation, of course, if it is mathematically equivalent for your given problem. So that's the beauty of knowing hardware, a system from inside out, that you can do a lot of tricks around your software code to improve performance of your program. Performance improvement not only from the time perspective, that how much time it consumes, but it also from like memory consumption perspective. If you know how the hardware works, you can do a lot of magic at your software level. Couple of points. Again, why to computer hardware study? Software development without knowledge of the hardware is almost similar to driving a car with a manual transmission capability in a cruise control mode. So you're not using all the power of the car, you're just happy and crappy with the cruise control automatic driving mode. And okay, so you're not getting 100% out of your manual transmission car. So this is somewhat analogy, I would say, that if you are developing your software without your knowledge of the hardware, you're basically going in a cruise control mode. You're not taking advantage of all the powers that a hardware system provides to you. Program can tune for faster performance with smaller memory footprint and minimize execution error with prior knowledge of the target hardware. So that's given. Like if someone with hardware knowledge can actually do better software programming, if they actually concentrate on both hardware and software part. Okay. Debugging of a complex software can often require knowledge of the target hardware, especially if it involves the caching and all this funky stuff around the softwares. Okay. Often the business decision need prior knowledge of the target hardware. Let's say you are a manager of a data warehouse and you are going to expand your data center, buying, let's say, 1,000 new machine. Okay. Now, what machine you are going to buy? Like, there are like many different options for you to go into the market and buy some machine, right? Now, you need to understand your data center business there, like who you are catering. Are you catering like somewhat uh, web service based applications, or you are catering towards more like an supercomputing applications, like a scientific applications? And depending on that, or maybe you are actually catering to the gaming industry, right? Depending on that, you would decide whether you actually go for some system which has a superior integer operation performance, or you go to some system which has a superior floating point performance, or go to a system which has superior graphics capability, right? So your business decision right there, depending on your knowledge in the business field and your understanding of the hardware and what type of hardware you want to actually buy in for your business. So it has a business effect right there. More on these points, like as a subject, this computer hardware, it needs background in the electrical engineering for computer science study, which can be a bit overwhelming and unnecessary, right? Those electrical engineering concept has more dealing with your like resistance, capacitance, inductance, transistor modeling. I'm just throwing all the jargons there. Don't be scared, we won't be dealing with that here, because it is possible to abstract out the details of the hardware components and define somewhat interface model. Okay, interface and operational characteristics we can do. Okay, then we can actually study integration of components into the overall system and implication to the program implementation on those systems. So we will be staying as much as possible at the abstract level of those electronic components. We won't be dealing with very finer detail of the electrical properties. We will leave ourselves at the logic level. Okay, as a computer science students, we all are, or at least should be, good at logic manipulation, should be good at mathematics. That's the modeling level we'll be staying at in this class. Now, what is this study? As a computer architecture study, from this organization study, you will be moving towards the architectural study. This is essentially definition of hardware platform is equivalent to like a blueprint concept that used in the other engineering field, like a mechanical engineering field or the civil engineering or architecture field, that you basically design an empty space with combining different architectural components like arithmetic logic unit, like bus arbitrator, like this memory driver and all this stuff, right? How you connect and arrange them together in a given space that it serves a compute power to you. Okay, just a blueprint for that one. That's the architectural study as a computer architecture subject. Now, computer organization and architecture is essentially a handshake between the software developers and the hardware developers. We'll understand more and more on this point throughout this course, and the next sequel of this course is CS47. We'll understand that this software you are writing actually depends on what hardware is providing to you. Otherwise, there will be this trading on the performance or unavailability of the feature. Okay, so we'll study that. It is essentially a handshake between the software developers and hardware developers at very low level. Now, since this computer organization and architecture is a common understanding between the software and hardware developers, it's very much important for the computer science personnel to have this concept of such common understanding. Like, remember the inverse pyramid we did towards the beginning of the slide, that system software and hardware, they actually are adjacent with each other and they talk with each other. So, and these computer organization architecture study is a common language between the system software personnel and the hardware personnel. So, since we may be landing up into this area of work, you ought to know about computer organization and architecture. So, as a subject, I understand this is directly applicable to the application space and system software space. So when you write a program to solve the target mathematical problem, we are all cushioned by the system software. So you are at here doing your stuff. And if you do something bad, actually operating system is there to protect you, okay? There is operating system, there are linker, assembler, compiler, virtual machines, all this stuff, right? It is actually cushioning you around the hardware so that you cannot do something bad to the hardware, okay? Your operating system is right there to protect you from that. However, in this course, I will take out this whole cushion for you. We will barely do with the hardware system. Okay, directly programming to the hardware system, and we'll do so, okay, so that we know directly how to program a hardware directly without help of any operating systems or any other like high-level programming concept. Okay, we'll go really low directly to the hardware level program. So that's what we'll do in this course. We'll have more hands-on approach to understand this subject in detail. We'll also review the basic digital logic. We'll also review programming perspective or of computer system models. That's what you can expect throughout this semester. I think we are end of the information that I wanted to share with you. So if you have any questions, please send me an email, or either in the Canvas or in my SJSU email ID, and I'll answer in the next class. And let's hope the next class is not got cancelled due to the weather and everything else. Let's hope we'll touch base at least somewhat live through the Zoom meeting online next day. Oh, just before I actually go for the day, wanted to also announce two things. One is prerequisite survey. Okay, that has to be done by August 21st, 2020, and I will go through all your transcripts during the weekend. So you don't need to send me email or something like that for confirmation, or if you have sent some other documents over email apart from the prerequisite survey, I will review them all together during the weekend. So just don't need to ping me, okay? So what will happen after this weekend review, by Monday, if you don't get any email from me, you are good. So no email is a good news. If there is a doubt or some issues, if I check your prerequisite and find some issues, I will get back to you. Don't worry, I will find you in any corner of the world, wherever. You cannot hide from me on that part, okay? So I will go through your prerequisite survey. I will hunt you down if there is an issue, okay? So no email is a good news. If you get an email, that's not also bad news. That's not end of the world. I'll work with you throughout this process and get things clarified. All right. Before next class, make sure you cover next day's topics and watch videos before you join in the class. All right, I think that's all. Finally, I hope I don't have to come back once more and give you some information. And I think this is the final for this class.